Everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the headliner of 1 Hour Photo, Rich Stambolian.
Oh, yeah. Remember when we were kids and there was those rink-a-dink, like, 5x5 photo booths in, like, the middle of, like, strip malls?
15-minute photos.
Yeah. Those were nuts. I always wondered, like, where those guys peed.
Nowhere.
Yeah. They just held it?
On the photos. That's where they go.
Oh, that was the darkroom water.
No, they're just a catheter connected. We got Jonathan sitting in studio. He moved to New York. He's a big-time newsboy now here in New York, so he's hanging out with us off camera. No mic.
My cock's out.
I think that's a lie. I don't think you got a job. I think you're homeless, and this is how you're breaking it to Andrew.
Yeah, this is
just like, yo,
he
can I
just
come
moved
over this
in,
morning?
dude. There's a U-Haul truck in the front of the house.
That'd be one hell of a way to pop up.
That is one hell of a way to
And
pop up.
you wouldn't be able to say no.
I'd be like, all right, I guess another person moves in.
If he showed up with, like, all your crap, and you were like, yo, I'm going to be at the show in the morning, and then after the show, you were like, by the way,
Just listen, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be here at least 6 months.
I got no place to go.
And it would really only be 4 months.
It's like a frat house here. I don't think people realize. Guys, this show is all about professional wrestling. Holy moly, what a week for wrestling.
Holy moly is right.
Holy moly, what a week. I had a very different show for today.
Yeah.
I did not expect the CM Punk stuff to go the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, like Matt, our producer, writes the notes throughout the week. And I was going to concentrate more on just like a general topic, just like shuffling the deck and stuff. Like Rich and I love to do that. And last week we were talking about like doing like the fantasy booking again of something.
Yeah.
Well, that's totally out the window. It's going to be a very news-heavy show today. I also have finally started contacting people again to, a lot of people like, where are your scoops?
Yeah, where are the scoops
Where
at?
the scoops, bro?
Where
and
the
I'm
scoops
like,
at?
listen, I got one hip.
Yeah.
I haven't been in Manhattan. I haven't seen people. I haven't talked to people.
So you need 2 hips to get all the scoops.
I need 2 hips to get all
Interesting.
the scoops.
Guys, make a note of that. If you want to get scoops,
Yeah.
2 hips.
You don't know
required.
what I have to do to get these scoops.
2
You
hips
have no
needed.
clue. You have no clue what it's like.
Oh.
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue. So
Do you want to do the news and the numbers and all that stuff first, or do you want to jump into the thing that everybody's been talking about for
let's
the last
go
3
into the
days?
news.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel like the Punk stuff's going to take like 30 minutes.
It's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right. WWE Earnings and call highlights. They announced a $328 million increase of over $663 million from the same time period in 2021. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're traveling now, right?
Mm.
They're traveling. This incorporated WrestleMania numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, was expected that this was going to be huge. And it was. It was a tremendous quarter for them. It is. This company is making so much money, and with it just shows you sometimes. Listen, product doesn't really matter. I mean, unfortunately,
We've been saying that for years. It's a perpetual,
good enough goes far sometimes.
perpetual motion machine. That money will keep making money and making money and making money. How much John Cena merch do you think is still selling at those arenas?
I'd love to know. I'm sure tons.
Right.
Right.
Like, a ton. Like, oh, we're here to see Roman Reigns. Daddy, get me a John Cena shirt.
Undertaker stuff, Austin shirts, NWO shirts.
Oh, forget it.
DX shirts. This is something,
Austin shirt for every town.
every town.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing, right? You got to look at these things were not implemented in place the way that they are today than they were 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. In the height of wrestling and in the height of that 90s boom, you did not have too many, merchandise for older talent being sold because it wasn't there. The logistics weren't there. The marketing wasn't there around him. Like Roddy Piper had a hot shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
It
It is probably one of the most memorable products out there. Do you know how many of those Hulkamania, that yellow Hulkamania shirts oversold that Piper shirt?
Yeah.
It's not even comparable.
Well, now the modern landscape of, I think specifically WWE merchandise is not only can you get the cool Austin shirt or the cool Finn Balor shirt, but you can get Finn Balor socks, Finn Balor koozies, Finn Balor
all the stupid
coffee
shit,
mugs, Finn Balor plushies, Finn Balor bobbleheads, whatever you can slap a logo or NWO sign on, it's there.
Yeah. The WCW method.
Yeah.
But it was too late. They had the Bill Goldberg squirt gun and they had the Hogan bicep and they had all that nonsense.
Well, WCW had really awful merch.
Terrible merch. Terrible.
And terrible t-shirts.
The worst. Yeah.
So did TNA.
Impact TNA had some terrible ones. Vince McMahon let's look at this. They also announced the investigation into Vince McMahon is pretty much complete. He paid $2.2 million this year out of his own money, $1.2 million during the first 6 months of 2021. Will pay a total of $19.6 million of unrecorded expenses. That is how they are wording this. They also, in their report to investors, they pretty much did like a risk assessment. And a lot of people are freaking out early this week about how WWE put in their verbiage that like, oh yeah, you know, with Vince gone, we may suffer some big problems. You kind of have to. It's risk assessment. Your CEO of 40 some odd years, the guy, that created it is gone. Of course you're going to have to, you know, address that to your investors. It was, I think a lot of people took it like, oh, you see, this is how they're going to get Vince back. This is how they're going to be. This is how, but I think maybe a little. I don't know. You know, that
too soon, right?
Last night I was talking to Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy?
Not Orange Cassidy. I'm so sorry. Cassidy Haynes?
Yes, a body slam.
Yes. Yes. I'm so sorry.
Does
I got something.
Does saying his name give you a lump in your throat?
Oh, hold on. I said if you say it too many times, he shows up here. Yeah. And he makes you get a little stoned.
Oh yeah,
that's what happens. Yeah, you say his name 3 times. He's like, come here, I want to show you something. I was talking to him yesterday, and I was like, hey, I was throwing some ideas, but this whole Stephanie McMahon burial. The timing of all this is interesting. Okay, let's do a little timeline here. You want to do a timeline now?
Sure.
Or no?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do the news. Continue. I'll do the timeline after this.
Okay.
So go ahead.
As per the Wall Street Journal, Vince McMahon paid $5 million in unrecorded company expenses to former president Donald Trump's charity.
What year? Was this for his payment for WrestleMania? Was this a different I don't know.
That is, you know what? That's laundered money right there. Hey, pal. What can you do about this? What can you do about this?
NXT UK shutting down? So when did we talk about this? When were we told that they were considering shutting down NXT UK?
What I want to say it was at the height of the Me Too stuff where a lot of the UK guys got like ixnayed.
Was this during the pandemic or after or before? I cannot remember.
The pandemic.
I asked MJ Geek to find this because I was specifically told that they would be folding NXT UK. This was not recently. Like, I'm not talking like the last 6 months. I'm talking prior to this. And I think we spoke about this. It was way after the pandemic.
Was
apparently.
It? Okay.
I mean, this was a pretty confident source. I mean, we spoke about it in like passing. I don't think I like broke the news because I wasn't too confident because I couldn't verify it anywhere else. But this was rumbling for them, and what they wanted from NXT UK did not happen.
It seems like it, right?
It just never happened. And you got to think about it. The operational cost is expensive. I know that they had to deal with the station, BT Sports, right?
Yeah.
They had to deal with them. They were using their facility, but the Me Too stuff obviously was a huge hit to them.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. They let people go. Then the pandemic, that huge hit to them. They've been very slow to get it restarted.
Yep.
The cool factor of being in Royal Albert Hall and all this stuff that we saw when they initially did this left. It was gone.
Yeah.
Those Pete Dunne matches initially. All those matches initially really catapulted that style, but did not happen.
They picked and chose who they wanted and got who they got, and they also let go a bunch of guys, which is, that's also wild. So Worlds Collide is going to be the last crossover show with NXT, and that's going to be at 4 p.m. before All Out, which I think is an interesting move. It's going to be a lot of razzling.
Man, that weekend's going to be busy, huh?
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad we're not going.
Are you now?
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Were you thinking of going?
No. I do not want to go.
So NXT Europe, I guess, is going to be the replacement for NXT
but not
UK.
Now.
Will launch in 2023.
Any reason to bring that European title back?
Oh, absolutely. You think that's going to be like an NXT exclusive title?
I hope so.
That would be pretty cool.
You know what they do? They use the old names anyway. Might as well bring that old belt back.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels is the Shawn Michaels' new title is WWE Vice President of Talent Development Creative. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. Tons of releases in NXT UK. If you want to run down that, if not, then we don't have to.
I don't think we should. There's like 30 names on this thing.
Yeah, so it's essentially everybody.
You know what? Like, I'm surprised by Dave Mastiff, Trent Seven.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, definitely.
Yeah, but think about
and
how
Jaya Brookside.
Think about how long this was going on. Like NXT UK was in existence for a while, and
it's true.
You know, a guy like Trent Seven, right?
Yeah,
he's been around for a while.
Yeah,
2016, he was a hot commodity.
Yep,
he's 40 years old now.
What?
You took this guy?
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the reality of this. He's 40 now. Trent 40.
Trent 40. What about Trent Acid?
Trent Acid.
Yeah,
that's another good one.
Trent Acid? I was talking
Poor
to my
guy.
wife about Trent Acid the other day.
He was another one. He could have been a huge name in the business.
The Jeff Hardy guys.
A lot of Jeff Hardy guys. Yeah.
Early 2000 Jeff Hardy guys. Do you want to go into Raw?
Let's do it.
You do the rating.
All right.
I don't want to talk about
1.98 with a 0.53 rating in the demo and the key demo. They're doing. I mean, that the numbers holding up big time. They've obviously seen something positive. They really want to be at 2 million. That will show growth for this company. They need to be at 2 million. They're just shy of it, so they're almost there. A couple hot angles and a couple big returns. You know, changes a lot.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think during the Cody, you know, right now we're in the summer period too, where things are a little slow. Obviously, we're going to go up against Monday Night Football, but Cody returning in a few months will kind of catapult that a little bit more.
You mean Cody winning the Rumble?
Maybe Cody winning the Rumble, yeah. Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre had a great promo, a little shooting back and forth.
Very nice.
You could call this whatever, but at the end of the day, we're wrestlers in a wrestling ring that wrestle.
Wrestle. They said wrestling as much as they said dragon on Dynamite.
I know. They said wrestling anyway.
We'll talk about that later, but still.
Followed by an awesome match that ended with the Usos attacking McIntyre. Riddle tells Rollins he's cleared. They brawl.
Great.
Riddle challenges Seth to clash at the castle.
September 5th.
Yep. Saturday. Bobby Lashley defeated AJ Styles to retain the United States Championship. Dexter Lumis showed up to the ring. Security stopped them. So it looks like it's going to be Lumis and AJ?
I'm cool with that.
All right.
I'm cool with that.
By the way, Lumis is not a young guy either.
No.
Monday on Raw in Toronto, which will be a hot crowd. Edge versus Damian Priest.
Love it.
Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Kai and Sky. Tag team tournament. Stupid name.
You know what? I like it.
Yeah. You want to go into NXT Heat Wave?
Yeah. It's Heat Wave. Gallus appeared from NXT UK and took out the Diamond Mine. Mandy Rose beat Zoe Stark to retain the Women's Championship. Great. Ron Breakker beat JD McDonough. After the match, he was confronted by Tyler Bate holding the NXT UK title, which he hasn't actually won on TV. This is setting up a unification match. What do you think?
Listen, Tyler Bate's another name.
Yeah.
Right? They've had him for 4 years.
He's been the champ for 5 years.
He was dating Liz Morgan at one point.
Was he?
He has been the champ for 5 years. Didn't he get in trouble for being problematic, or am I thinking of somebody else?
You know what?
Oh, I'm thinking of the umbrella guy.
I don't know. Maybe
not the umbrella guy. The mustache guy.
Oh, Gallagher?
Yes.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe that could have been the reason, but
no. I was thinking of Marty Scurll is the umbrella guy.
No, because he also.
You're thinking of the other umbrella guy.
No, with the mustache.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
That guy got knocked out.
Tyler Bate hasn't been UK champ since 2017.
It's a fight between that man and Joel Pearl.
So
Joel Pearl said he's been.
I don't know. Very. This is all very strange.
This is very strange. Yeah. You know what? And this is our fault too, because we don't really pay. This is why it closed down.
I don't watch it.
We don't pay attention to it.
No, I don't watch it. I don't watch it because I don't. There's nothing that happens that makes me want to watch it. Listen, you want to see great wrestling? There's great wrestling everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to seek out NXT UK anymore.
I think the Peacock thing hurt it in the US.
Oh yeah, the Peacock thing too. Yeah.
Because you can't Peacock
can't find it.
Yeah, you can't find it.
You can't find it.
Can we get this guy a microphone?
I don't have one, dude. I wish I did.
Do you want to sit on my lap?
I wish I did. I'm out of mics. So what happened here? Here we go. We're setting up for a unification match at Worlds Collide.
That's what it looks like. Great. Yeah. Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate. That's going to be fun, though. I think that's going to be a good match.
All right.
All right. Do you want to go into it?
Let's go into
Dynamite. Do you
Dynamite.
need to take a break?
We're going to go take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
So, how do you want to start this?
Start it.
Okay.
Start the show.
So,
Dynamite starts. It's all about dragons.
Dynamite starts. It's all about House of the Dragon. I was surprised that Dragon did not make his debut on Wednesday night. But,
I know.
But you did have
a Ricky. You had a Ricky dragon.
You had a Ricky the Dragon.
You had a Daniel dragon.
You had the Daniel the Dragon.
You had another Daniel
American.
dragon.
You had
The
Slayer of Dragons.
Yeah, you had the Slayer of Dragons.
So,
Dragon Lee?
let's
Was he
just
there?
Dragon Lee was there.
Another dragon, yeah.
Let's get into it.
Lead the dragon.
So apparently, we all know what happened at this point. If you're watching this, you're into wrestling. You're into us, probably. Really into us. And you know exactly what happened on Wednesday. CM Punk apparently cut a off-the-cuff, quote-unquote, went into business for himself promo on Hangman, saying, hey, why don't you come out, challenge me, blah, blah, blah. Unscripted. I think the whole thing is BS. The internet got worked up about it, and I think that was the point.
Okay.
F the internet.
Listen,
that's the impetus. That's what I think.
Essentially what he did, he came out,
Laid the title down.
he laid the title down, sat down, and he's like, I got two important things. I got two things I got to talk about. One important, one not so important. Let's start out with the not so important. And he shits all over Hangman, calls him a coward.
Yeah.
They were in his hometown of West Virginia, right? Or home state of West Virginia.
Yeah.
I watched it and it was clunky and awkward. The only thing that makes me think, I mean, listen, I spoke to a couple people and people believe that this is real. There was a lot of heat on him. People were very upset that he would do that. The reason that's given is that Hangman cut a promo on him when they were in a program.
Yep.
And it got too real for CM Punk, right? That's the story.
Because he brought up the Cabana stuff.
He brought up the Cabana stuff.
Who was nowhere to be found, by the way.
Yeah, he's in Ring of. He's gone.
Yeah.
So, listen, man. CM Punk is CM Punk. He's a little irritable. Things bother him. Yeah. Now, if it is a promo, one hell of a fucking promo.
Right, absolutely.
If it is a shoot, I think it's really shitty.
Yeah.
Because he buried this guy. He made him look weak.
Yeah.
A babyface doesn't do that. Right? Ever. You're not going to take a former champion, a guy that you're building a company on in some capacity, right? Because he's their homegrown guy, even though he's not homegrown. He's their homegrown guy. He hasn't been in WWE.
Yeah.
Former champion. People love him. And you pretty much said that he's a wimp and he's not going to come out, and you buried him.
I think he's, you know what? Like, again, I think this is all BS. I think people got worked up for all the right reasons. You know what I mean? Where everybody just exploded about it and has their opinions, which is fine. I think that
Fightful had a very detailed report.
What we were talking about the other day is that AEW needs stronger heels, right? And if this is the Punk turn, it works.
It works. So I will say, I was told yesterday by somebody there, 100%, they believe that this is legitimate based on the reaction that they saw afterwards.
Right.
Listen, man, if it is legitimate, I think it's really crappy. There's no sugarcoat in that, right? Like,
no, absolutely.
You're in a program with somebody, and the thing about AEW is that they're a little bit more mature, right? With and they bend the reality a little bit more. Great program, hell of a promo, and you're upset that your opponent touched on something that maybe he said, listen, don't go into it. And if Hangman did, then that's crappy on him. But you're not in a program with Hangman. What do you bring? Unless you are now, right? If you're in a program, then it's fine. If you're not, then this makes no sense.
I agree with that. I think also it's one of those things where, like, I always feel like these guys they're not working the locker room, but who's to say, like, let's say you're John Moxley.
Yeah.
Right? And somebody, let's say Punk goes up to you and Tony Khan and says, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? You think about this? Blah, blah, blah. Let's not tell anybody, right? That's not working the boys. That's...
You're working... Yeah, you're just keeping things under wraps.
You're keeping things under wraps.
If that's the case, it's great. Fine.
Which I do feel like a lot of this stuff happens. Think about, like... And again, I'm gonna take this into a weird direction. Think about how much abuse Punk has suffered from...
the locker room,
the internet, and fans over the last 5 years, especially with the UFC stuff.
Yeah, tons.
I don't think this guy has thin skin. You know what I mean?
Oh no. He's not thin-skinned, but there are. I mean, we know people that know him. There are people that he could be a dick.
Well, yeah,
That's how it's described.
Absolutely.
Listen, man, I hope this is part of a bigger plan because I think it's brilliant if it is. It's kind of bending the line. Same thing with the MJF stuff.
Well,
you know that promo wasn't I mean, like a real shoot.
Yeah.
You know, when he came out and he called Tony Khan a mark and he called. Yeah, listen, there's still some level of respect. No matter how angry you are at somebody, they're still your employer. They're still paying you. He's under contract. Like that, you know.
Millionaires arguing with millionaires.
This felt more real to me.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the pipe bomb too, you know, like where people went nuts about the pipe bomb thinking like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's the other side of this. Wouldn't it be absolutely bananas? Punk turns heel.
Okay.
Right? This sets up the MJF return.
MJF beats him in Chicago.
MJF full face turn.
Listen, you know, I believe, my own personal belief, MJF will be back soon, very soon. If not like next week or the week after, I believe he will be in Chicago. This is my own thing. And what better way to set up a match? That's how he decided to come back. Tony Khan gave him a number one contendership.
Right.
That was part of the deal, and now he's a number one contender in Chicago. He beat CM Punk. Holy moly!
So what? At the end of the day, we're getting Moxley versus Punk to unify that title next week on TV. Who takes it? Or is there a screw finish and we get the real unification at All Out?
Whatever you do, you're setting up the match for if they are not facing each other at All Out. You're setting up who their opponents are.
Yeah.
Next week. So what if it's MJF and Mox?
Right.
I don't want to see that.
I agree with that. Who's to say that Hangman doesn't interrupt that match and you get a three-way at All Out and Hangman takes the belt?
That's fine.
You know?
I'm into that. That's fine.
Because you're going into the territory of now we can have two-time champions. Right?
We're in that category.
The lineage of that belt is enough. You know, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, John Moxley, CM Punk. It's great. You know,
it is interesting how they're all still in that mix.
Right.
Like those are the guys that have been in the mix from the beginning.
He's doing
and
the
they're
New Japan
still in
booking.
He's
doing the New Japan booking.
Yeah.
Keep the same six guys.
Six guys until you exhaust it and then you introduce someone else. I don't know. I think the CM Punk stuff is very intriguing. I'm not there. I don't know. But
exactly.
I am told specifically from multiple people that cover wrestling and people from within AEW and people at WWE, they all believe that this was CM Punk going into business, you know, the same term, like going into business for himself and all that shit, right? But he is a very creative guy.
Smart guy, yeah.
Very smart guy. All those guys are smart. It is possible that they work something, and you know what? They got you talking about it, and we've spent 20 minutes talking about a TV show, whether or not what happened on TV was real or fake.
Which is what you want.
Which is exactly what you want in pro wrestling in 2022.
Right. That's what you want. And also, like that, the verbal sparring between Mox and Punk was fan-friggin-tastic. You know?
Okay. Did that feel... See, here's the only thing that separates it. I think the Hangman stuff was so clunky and rushed, and it was a different setup than the Moxley thing, because the disrespect wasn't there for the Moxley thing. The only thing I would say that he was being a dick about is like when Moxley was coming out and talking over his theme and singing it.
Yeah.
He was taking his heat away or his pop away. You know, is that as him being a heel? Yeah, I guess so.
Right. Yeah.
But that disrespect wasn't there. I'm curious what Mox thought of it.
I think that guy's the ultimate, like, wrestling is cool. You know, like that's his mentality. Like,
hey,
this
listen,
is cool.
man.
It's cool wrestling shit. You know,
it also overshadowed
everything on the show.
Kenny Omega returning, right? Think of that.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
And I believe it was by design.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
The brawl. Let's talk about those brawls too.
Two pull aparts.
One of the best pull aparts I've seen.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably one of the best. I mean, Hangman, Austin and Tyson. Now, I mean, that's fantastic too. But I just feel like there was something. There's something here.
This isn't. It's also like the build between this isn't Dean Ambrose versus CM Punk. These are two completely different entities, and I think they delivered on that front.
Yeah, I think they delivered great. I thought outside of the Hangman stuff, which is the big story here now, they had 3 major angles on the show, 4 major angles on the show, 5 major angles on the show.
A lot of stuff happened, you know?
Okay, let's run down this.
So, and also, Mox saying, like, you think because you have the microphone, you're the best wrestler in the world, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work. Like, that stuff was cool.
So you believe it's a work?
I think the reaction is all BS. I think it's just cool wrestling stuff that is getting everybody fired up. And I think, honestly, great answer to the new trend that WWE is doing, where it's like, hey, you guys are starting to get a little edgier. We're going to outdo that. And guess what? It's not going to be a bloody mess. This show was tighter than it has been in a month. There were still a few timing issues as far as production.
At the end there were timing issues. Yeah.
But great top to bottom
very
show.
Good. Very good show.
Let's see what do we got. We
did
had
not do 1 million though.
Very interesting.
A lot of people were surprised.
I'm shocked by that, to be honest.
Me too. Very much so.
2 out of 3 falls match. Bryan Danielson defeated Daniel Garcia 2-1.
Ricky was out there.
So you had Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, versus Daniel Garcia, the Dragon Slayer, with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as the timekeeper.
Yeah.
Whilst there were promos for House of the Dragon. A lot of dragon stuff, man. Great.
Dragon Lord Frodo was in the audience.
Dragon Lord Frodo?
Yeah.
First fall went to Garcia. Second fall went to Danielson. And the third fall went to Danielson with the ref stoppage from the label lock, which was fantastic.
Are they doing the ref stoppage too much?
I don't think so. I think it ends. I think for the quote unquote tougher guys, it adds more legitimacy.
And listen, you also 100%. You also went backwards. Submissions were that you passed out.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't have the tap outs before.
Right.
That was never a thing until later on in MMA. So interesting.
Bryan goes to shake Garcia's hand. Jericho on commentary comes out and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Great. Jericho looks like a salty Long Island mom at this point. Fantastic.
Okay. What town?
Limbrook.
Oh, yeah, from Limbrook? Taking Sunset. You got to take Sunset all the way down past the mall. That mall, you know what? You got to be careful which side of that mall you're on.
Possibly Syosset.
Yeah. You know, I had RJ City on Observer Live. RJ's coming on next week.
Oh, very cool.
With us.
Very cool.
Which will be fun. And RJ had Taz on his show, and they were talking about Red Hook and Tough Towns. And RJ said, listen, he knows all about Red Hook. His aunt is from Garden City, and that's like Red Hook. And I agree with him. Don't you? And I'm like, listen, Taz will probably yell at us about this. Massapequa, rough neighborhood. Okay? Great Neck North, the worst. Manhasset, terrible. Do not go to Americana Mall. You don't want to go there. Very dangerous. Miracle Mile is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. Muncie Park, even worse.
Seacock is terrible.
So
don't talk about Jersey.
That's Jersey.
We're not talking about Jersey. Jericho comes out looking like the Long Island medium. Starts going and attacks Danielson, which that's the match.
Is RJ going to be here?
No, but I want him here. I'm working on something.
Great.
For if he's here for Grand Slam, I have an idea.
Oh, excellent.
I have an idea that involves somebody else too.
You got to get your Grand Slam tickets.
I do have to get my.
Yeah.
Do you know how expensive they are?
Yeah, I paid $50 for mine.
Yeah, the ones I won were $300 a piece.
No, I know. Those are going to be more expensive.
Yeah. All right, what else do we have?
They're at those seats now. I want to say I checked last time. I know what you're talking about. They're not even that great, and they're $356.
Yeah.
Bananas.
But they have a stage this year. They're not going to have 20,000 people there, by the way.
No, it's not even sold out. I thought it was going to be sold out.
No, they don't have a card. You know, it will be very full. I just don't think it's going to be 20,000 people, even though they have a stage there too this year. So there's definitely not 20,000.
I got decent seats, but you know what? You know what was great about that when we went there? The hanging monitor is gigantic.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. Everything is great.
Gun Club defeated the Varsity Blondes. Quick match.
Very.
Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn turned on Billy Gunn,
They did.
who got saved by the Acclaimed. And whilst my wife was in the living room, I was like, check this out. It's pretty funny. And she goes, what the F is Scissor Me Daddy?
Perfect.
And then I made her do it. And I was like, she was like, yeah, it's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. It is very fun to do. It's a cool handshake. Why don't we do that from now on?
This thing?
Yeah.
Jungle Boy challenged Christian for All Out. That was like, I felt like this was just like a weird back and forth for no reason. I don't know why. This segment didn't do it for me.
Well, he told them that he loves them and their family, and he tried to get out of the match. Christian's a great. I mean, he's such a great, unlikable guy.
Especially like Jungle Boy coming out and going, they told me not to wear that shirt I wore last week.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It had the P word on it.
Didn't do it for me. Wardlow and FTR challenged Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Phantom Singh it All Out. That's fun. And they also refer to themselves as the Pinnacle again.
Did they?
A little sarcastically, I think, though. And what I really liked was...
Oh, you skipped Mox coming out and attacking Tony.
Well, we talked about that before.
The brawl, the big brawl.
The second, that's the second.
That's the second brawl.
The second pull apart.
Yeah.
But Dax calling himself the best wrestler in the world.
They're so good.
Yeah.
They really are.
They really are.
Yeah.
Do you want to see Dax as a pseudo singles competitor?
No.
Going for singles titles?
No.
Not at this point.
I like them together.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
He is awesome.
He's awesome.
I know, but I like them together.
He's the Shawn.
Is he? Dax is the Shawn?
I think they're both the Shawn, but he's more the Shawn. Tony Storm beat Kylan King.
Killian.
Was she the wrestler in the audience
Killian.
who they kept showing singing the Jericho theme during the pandemic?
I think so.
She was,
I think
right?
so.
Okay.
Tony's finish is called Sweet Cheeks Music.
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
And then you had the Trios Championship Tournament quarterfinals.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks with the returning Kenny Omega defeating La Facción Ingobernable, Andrea Lidolo, Rush, and Dragon Lee with Jose the assistant. Kenny returned with Don Callis and Nakazawa.
He was wearing knee and arm braces.
Full compression shirt.
Which is playing a big part, right? I think he's going to take off one piece every match.
I don't think so.
You think this is going to continue until the show?
So the way I was reading it was Kenny's going to cost them this tournament.
Oh, because he's not ready. That's how you saw this.
Right.
Interesting.
So the whole thing this is the story I got, and it's very complex, and a lot of dum-dums online.
This is how you saw it.
This is how I saw it. I feel like it's fine to disagree with me or whatever, but it's during the match, the story that was being told was Kenny's not fully recovered.
That's the story they're telling.
Knees were shaking.
Yeah.
Shoulder not good.
He missed a couple spots.
Shaky. Yeah. Right. Shaky, quote unquote. Don Callis on commentary cementing that, going, even if Kenny's at 10%, he's still 100% better than every wrestler out there.
And Callis was the heel.
Right.
On commentary. And then afterwards, I believe Kenny did a promo and he's like, I'm not a good guy. I'll still cheat to win.
Right.
Like he was cutting like a semi.
So what I think is going to happen, again, Kenny was being very selfish during the match.
Was he?
He wasn't tagging in when they were wanting him to tag in.
See, I took that as he was being apprehensive.
I think he was like, I still got it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do it. He did that floppy one-winged angel.
Yeah.
Again, I think the story that they're telling, and this is my perspective,
that Kenny costs it for them.
Kenny costs it for them, but on purpose.
I'm going to tell you something. That is you are the first person to even present that to me.
Really?
In that way. Yeah, honestly,
okay.
I haven't seen, the only take I have seen is the one that I thought, I mean, listen, I think that's really smart. I didn't even see it that way. I see it as, he's still banged up. He came a little too early, he did a favor, and every week, little by little, he gets back. And then at All Out, it's like the Kenny Omega.
See, that would be cool, but I think we're still going to get injured Kenny. And then whatever happens, Schmaz finish or whatever, that's when
Hey, let's do a bet.
Sure.
Okay.
Heel turn, takes off everything, super jacked.
And undies.
And
just undie Kenny.
His tag team partner, Kota Ibushi.
I know.
That's what I want.
That's how you win.
But I think they're gonna go back to the heel Kenny that left when he got
The only thing I think is that Kenny was bad for business. It slowed growth down having Kenny as a heel.
I think they can go back to it now because they have that big roster.
Maybe now. I'm very curious to see how they do this. I don't like Kenny as a heel because I actually like him so much as a person.
Mm.
He's a really good person.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to get into that, like, oh, I want to boo this guy, even though he's the best wrestler in the world, and I love everything he does. You know, like I'm saying the logic for a fan. I saw this as he's not ready. I love that he's like faking it. And he's being a little cocky.
He's being
a little arrogant
cocky about
it.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I know that they really want it to be Kenny and Cole. They want to get there. So,
Great.
However they do that, I don't know. You know, Kenny being a heel, I don't know if that could work. But listen, man, I think there's a lot. Kenny being back is a big addition to that roster.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Should they have advertised Kenny Omega returning?
I don't like it when they do that.
I don't either. But you know what? That rating kind of showed.
You think
that
so?
if they had announced, hey guys, Kenny Omega's returning, that would have been over 1 million viewers.
You know what I think is happening? I've been looking at the trend on like social, right? Where, you know, I'll put out for every wrestling show, I'll put out, hey, who's watching with us tonight?
Yeah.
Right. And I've noticed Raw and SmackDown are separate things because nobody gives a shit, but then people give a shit, right? The thing with AEW that I noticed that a lot of people say is the last 2 weeks didn't do it for me. I'm not watching anymore. So do you think the lack of numbers are fair weather fans who got turned off?
I don't know. You think they got turned off?
Listen, I'm just reading the comments on our pages.
I have to tell you, the last 2 weeks I've enjoyed.
Right.
From June, from end of May for Double or Nothing to now, they have had problems.
Right.
You know, between that, the McMahon story took over everything.
Yeah, for sure.
The MJF stuff was a negative. You know, Punk getting hurt was a negative. Cole getting hurt is a negative. There was too much negativity on AEW. I think the Ring of Honor stuff really annoyed a lot of people, including myself. I think it's a little too much Ring of Honor on that show.
Interesting.
Now it's okay, but you know, they were building up to a pay-per-view. I understand what they were doing. They have no TV for Ring of Honor, but
that was a great pay-per-view too.
It was a very good pay-per-view. However, it messed up the flow of the stuff. I'm not fan of the Jay Lethal crew being like
I've come around to them. But you think it's too much TV time for them?
It just does nothing for me. I don't think it like the promos are. It doesn't feel like it belongs on the show.
Interesting.
It's not for me. And listen, I like Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I like Wardlow.
See, I've come around to the Jay Lethal trio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of that, I wish they did more with the trio stuff. I feel like we didn't get a lot of trio stuff that we should have, right?
From who?
Just in general.
I think we got a ton of trio stuff.
Yeah.
On AEW. Oh, during the thing?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, you know.
And this trios tournament is rushed, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with that. With the roster as dense as it is, and with only 3 hours of television time, it's got to be rough, you know, because you're booking like a lot of the times you can understand Tony Khan's booking, but then and a lot of the times he has to book with who's over, right? Like, so Rampage is a good example. Hook pretty much owns Rampage
right now, yeah,
right, because that dude is over as F. Right. And then you have kind of like your supplementary stuff. Like tonight, you're getting Best Friends versus Trustbusters, Athena versus Penelope Ford, Claudio Speaks, Hook versus Zach Clayton, and Swerve in Our Glory versus Private Party. Solid show.
Yeah.
But these guys were all on Dynamite at some point. And now it's Rampage. You know, like they flip flop back and forth with this. I think
they have to because Rampage is such a weird time slot for that show. You know, if it was on any other day, if that show was on Thursday, it would be better. Any other day, but now Tuesday, it would be better.
Do you think this show is inconsistent because the roster is so dense? And for example, like 1 week, this is a good like Dynamite next week. 1 week you have Death Triangle versus United Empire.
And they weren't on. United Empire wasn't on the show last week, and Death Triangle wasn't, right?
Right. And then it's like it skips a week. You have Dax Harwood versus Jay Lethal next week, and then you have Punk and Moxley, which is fine. You know,
which is okay because you know what? It's almost like the old way that Raw used to tape.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to do the taping, which featured a bunch of people, and then you had the live episode that had, you know, Austin on it, and they would flip it the following week.
Right.
I do believe there is wrestling fatigue happening, right? I think the last 3 years, and you got to give them credit here, okay? And having, let's say AEW has had a total.
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
I think he's choking himself.
Dude, don't do that. Stop choking yourself. Oh my God.
We just looked in the monitor and MG Geek is choking himself on the on the screen.
This is how it does it.
Sorry to interrupt you. I couldn't help it.
You need to VMix in Harry because he'd love to see what's happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, Tony Khan has had a great 3-year run, right? Can you count how many times they've had a terrible show?
Right. Like,
I could probably tell you I have seen, out of the 3 years of AEW being on TV, November, it'll be 3 years, 4 terrible shows?
And not even like a 0.
I would
maybe
say
like a 3 or 4.
The one in December 2019,
yeah,
where they ended it with that terrible punch. You remember that one?
Yes.
That wasn't a great show.
Yeah.
I think 3 weeks ago they had a not so great show, or 4 weeks ago they had a not so great show. But listen, man, how much more successful can you writing 3 years of consistent wrestling that has been intriguing for an audience is rare. How many terrible Raws have you seen in the last 3 years?
Oh,
I can't even count.
Yeah, exactly.
How many terrible SmackDowns have you seen in 3 years? So when you compare the big picture, they're okay, but the short term they have suffered. They've suffered due to injuries. They've suffered due to key people not being on TV. They've suffered because of the booking. It happens.
But it's also, I think Tony Khan does a good job of, he knows that growing pains are always expected, right? And I think he's a smart enough guy, clearly, to, he knows what the audience wants, but it's also like, hey, I'm a businessman. This is where you're going to get right now. We're going to do the New Japan thing. We're going to do the Ring of Honor thing. And you know what? They got it out of the way, and it was great. I thought the New Japan stuff was fantastic. I thought the Ring of Honor stuff was fantastic.
It was, you know what? Would it have been better? Or here's a question for you. Do you think the Ring of Honor confusion and the, booking confusion, not like what's the Ring of Honor, and the New Japan stuff, would it have been better if the injuries had not happened?
Yes.
If CM Punk and Tanahashi were that main event, would it have felt like, okay, it's flowing more? I think so.
I think if everybody's healthy, yes.
Or do you think we still would have felt like, oh yeah, they did too many moving parts?
I'm a fan of the moving parts. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me, but I feel like I'm a unique wrestling viewer in that way. Like, stuff doesn't get to me about wrestling.
I think, like, Wardlow, for example, right?
Yeah.
Wardlow has that match with MJF. End of May.
Yeah.
Becomes a hot property.
Yes.
And because of all this confusion, it fell apart.
Do you feel like from the way we watch stuff now, where you need things clickable and consumable and immediate bites, do you think in that perspective Wardlow got lost in the shuffle a little bit?
So I got to tell you, I watch wrestling, and you too. We watch wrestling with a very different perspective.
Sure.
I watch it twice. If it's like Dynamite, I will watch twice.
Yes.
Pay-per-views I will watch twice, because there's one that you get your natural reaction. Me watching Dynamite in bed at 9:30 and I'm a little, toot skied up.
Yeah.
I love everything I'm seeing.
That's usually when you hook up the IV full of vodka.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I enjoy it, but I know that my reaction to it is watching as a fan, and I like it.
Right.
Then I watch it again, and then I can see the holes.
Right.
I did the same thing with Raw. I thought Raw was very good the last couple of weeks. This week was I was not crazy about this week. But
usually I take notes and say, this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, okay. Do that too, but I do that on Monday. I can't do that on I could do that the following day. I can't do that the day of.
But you know what? We're getting hot crowds.
Yeah.
Like, this is the momentum, I think, of pro wrestling now, is like, we're talking about peaks and valleys, like we're approaching some kind of peak, I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see what happens in the next year between everything, like WWE stuff, New Japan stuff, Ring of Honor, and AEW. It's a fun ride, like, we're not detracting anything or like poo-pooing on anything. I think this is just like all fun, apart from the Vince McMahon stuff, which is not fun.
Well, by the way, there's more that's coming out.
Yeah, I know, which is even more bananas. That, I feel like that in a weird, bizarre way, this is the world we live in, that is probably making them more money. Because more people are talking about it.
Do you see what their stock is?
Yeah, it's nuts.
The stock exploded. They've made millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions
By
possibly
this
on the
guy
stock.
having a scandal.
Yeah.
And it's just trendy. Like, people are talking about it.
But it
you know?
changed everything.
Yeah.
That
Really
that
nuts.
scandal.
We live in a bizarre effing time.
Oh my God, dude. I was telling Jess yesterday, I'm like, like I owe the internet to everything for my career.
Yeah.
In every aspect of my career. With the day gig and the podcast, I owe the internet. But if I could just go like this and have it go away, I may do it.
Destroy the internet. You mean the internet?
Social media.
Yeah. For sure.
I despise social media.
Same
I think it has hit a level of toxicness.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it's all fandom.
Yeah.
It's all at the end of the politics fandom.
Yeah.
TV shows fandom, sports fan. It's all based on fandom, and it's all based on. And it showed you an amazing thing. We as human beings have zero ability to communicate globally. We are animals.
We're fucking miserable.
We cannot. We don't possess. We haven't transcended into that level of humanity.
Yeah.
The aliens did not give us that technology.
Nope.
You know what? Those effing aliens that come down here, the Greys, the Norwegians,
They leave.
The reptilians,
done.
the Anunnaki. You know what? They come here and they're like, "Holy shit! Look at these apes."
Not today. That's what they say. Do you use Flipboard at all?
Flipboard?
Flipboard on your phone.
Flipboard.
Yeah.
I used to use Flipboard. I stopped. I don't read any news anymore. I'm done.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm over it.
So I love Flipboard, right? And every morning, like sometimes I'll like doom scroll a little bit. So the other day I was just like, you know what? I don't want to see any bad news. Let me flip to the comic book page.
Yeah.
On my Flipboard and see
And it was all
what's
politics?
going on. The first thing that comes up, why Sandman sucked and you shouldn't watch it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
all
was
negative.
like,
It's all
this is
negative.
All
Listen,
negative misery. Sandman was fucking awesome.
But that's
by the way.
what sells.
I'm gonna change it for you.
You're gonna
Yeah.
change it for? Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure all your news is positive.
You know what? You have that ability as a producer.
Yeah, you can do it.
Jonathan could change the news for all of us.
Got you.
Yeah, thank you.
Change the world.
Yeah,
Change the world. But I think it's like people love to dive
do.
and live into negativity, and we're not like that. Like there's no like. Well, I mean, like we can have opinions, but like, just be effing happy. If you have food in your refrigerator, pay your goddamn bills.
Like,
just be happy.
People can't.
Place to stay.
People can't.
You got 3 hots in a cot.
Like,
you're in a house.
Yeah, like
Just be happy.
People can't. I think it's unbelievable, some of the comments that I see online.
It's really, especially with the wrestling stuff, which is even like more bizarre.
People attacking people's kids.
Yeah.
How about that? Our buddy Will Washington.
Yeah.
Some lunatic on Twitter starts attacking his kid and starts calling the kid names because the kid is enjoying wrestling. Like, what kind of sick people are these? And I got to tell you, man, you say it all the time. You don't know if this person is like a really deranged person or it's a 10-year-old. You never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
Well, because they never put their picture out there. And it's also, it's not like, hey, like a lot of these like IWC wrestling accounts, like these gatekeeping accounts who go after people who like certain things, or like, hey, let me tell you the real story.
Don't be a fucking dweeb.
Listen,
all right?
man.
Stop being a dweeb.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the person live their life. What are you doing? What is going on that you need to go on Twitter and start arguing with people all day? What is happening?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Get off Twitter. Just watch our show.
That's it.
Inundate yourselves with all the Matt Men streams. Let's talk about New Japan. Guess who won the G1 2 years in a row?
Okada.
Kazuchika Okada beating Will Ospreay. 4th win, 2nd consecutive. The only one with more wins, this is a nice stat, MG Geek, is Masahiro Chono with 5.
So he's at 4. He could do 5.
I think so. He's a young dude.
All right. So let's talk about this for a second. I was not committed to this G1. This is the second year.
Tough.
It was very difficult for me to get through.
Yeah.
There was some great wrestling, but it was not one of the... Dude, we got some really good G1s. 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Like we got some really fun G1s. They're in the rebuilding phase right now. New Japan has suffered throughout this whole, pandemic era and everything. They're still in it. You still, they're still suffering from this. Okada winning puts more light on the G1. Him and Ospreay had a great match. This sets up Wrestle Kingdom. And
one night.
It is one night. You know what? Thank God.
Yep, exactly.
And I hope WrestleMania goes one night.
Yeah,
I gotta put on a glove to do it.
Yeah.
Like a latex
like
glove.
Of Mice and Men?
Like that.
Fill it with lotion? Gross.
Oh, fill it with lotion.
So your hands are all soft.
Yeah.
So you can touch your wife with it.
Yeah. One night, New Year's Dash will be the night after. So back to how it was.
Great.
NJPW Rumble on 44th Street live on pay-per-view.
That's where he ends up.
Yeah. Is that where he goes?
I'm working for New Japan.
Will be held at the Palladium in Times Square,
Awesome.
October 28th. I guess we're going to this.
Yeah, we're going to this.
This is right by my office, so perfect.
We're going to this.
I'm on 39th. This
And
on
we're going to the
44th.
club after.
Oh, it's right by my house.
Oh, you want to go to the club after?
You should set up a thing.
You want to take all of them? Okada in the club.
Yo,
They would
he's
love
the
it.
Rainmaker.
He's the freaking Rainmaker. How, you know what? Somebody get in touch with New Japan, okay? We need to get Okada at Sapphire, and he needs to do the Rainmaker thing with all the girls.
Get Rocky on the horn.
Oh, I should get Rocky.
There
on
you
the
go.
horn. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm excited for that. I want to go to that show. So we have October 28th at the Palladium for New Japan back in New York City. Fits about 2,000 people. Have you seen any acts in the Palladium? What was it? Best Buy Theater, right?
Oh, a ton.
You've seen it.
I love
Who
that
have
place.
You seen?
Amon Amarth, Motorhead.
How about Gwar? Have you gone to see Gwar?
I've never seen it. I've seen Gwar, but I have not purposely seen.
Have
Gwar.
they held a Juggalo event there or no?
I don't think so.
Coco would know.
I know.
Fucking
Gwar.
Coco is dying to be a Juggalo.
Where is
He's
Coco?
made to be a Juggalo. That man.
I think he wants to be a combination of a Juggalo and a Gwar
Is
head.
he still in your basement?
Who? Coco? Yeah, he's always there.
He's got the ankle thing on with the chain attached to the wall. Andrew feeds him fish heads.
I got a call from LA coming in. I don't know who this is. 323.
It's Rocky. It's Rocky Romero. All right, guys, it's question time.
Okay.
Get your questions ready. We're going to do our best to answer all of them. If you want your question answered ahead of the rest of the pack, do not hesitate to super chat us. And that is a great way to support the show. Thank you, guys. You ready to jump in, Andrew?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's see. We got a super chat here from Kyle Masters. What's up, boys? Am I wrong to want to believe that everything about CM Punk is planted to try to get people talking about AEW more?
Hang on. Is the images working?
Is that better?
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
What's up, boys? Am I wrong to want to believe that everything about CM Punk is planted to try to get people talking about AEW more because of the turnaround in WWE with the new Triple H era? That's exactly
Our
what I
boy
said.
Kyle. Yeah, that's what Rich said.
Mhm.
I believe the opposite.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't be disappointed. If it is, I would prefer it to be a part of the story.
Yeah.
Way more. I
100%.
don't want it to be. I don't want these guys fighting.
You don't want it to be real.
No, a lot of people do though. A lot of people do.
I think that's stupid.
Like somebody, I saw a bunch of tweets, people saying like, if this is part of the story, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because you got fooled. I mean, like, why? The whole thing, it's that's wrestling. You're supposed to be fooled into believing it's real.
You're supposed to be fooled. I think that's the best way to put it. You're supposed to be fooled, and it's cool when you are. And it's also, everybody's a millionaire. Millionaires are fighting, I did like the line that Mox dropped on Punk where he was like, we all know the real reason you're here is because you ran out of money.
I mean, that's really funny.
But I don't think it's true.
And it mocks. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not true. No,
Yeah.
because he has tons of money, and he's very careful
He's
with his
frugal,
money. Yeah,
yeah.
he's not. He doesn't go around buying Rolls Royces. I did like how he turned around to Mox. He's like, "I punch you now, but I'm afraid you're gonna bleed all over me."
Fantastic.
Which was. I mean,
He got that
he's
thin
such a-
forehead skin.
Such a good dick, CM
Yeah,
Punk. Like,
absolutely.
what a dick comment to make. And that's
Great.
something you say to your buddies. You know what I mean? Like, you're sitting
Exactly.
down having a couple drinks and you make fun of them over something.
Exactly.
So good. That line was great.
But I think that's what folks don't understand about a witty retort or rapport you have with somebody. These guys are breaking chops in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you believe it's real, but that's a perfect line. Like, yo, you got thin forehead skin, man. Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Or like Eddie Kingston, you're the third best. You're the third best Eddie I've ever
Do
wrestled.
you know who the Eddies were?
Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards?
Nope.
Who?
Let's do this.
I ran out of Eddies. Crazy Eddie.
Eddie Fatu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Umaga.
And
Umaga's the other best Eddie he's been with, which I thought was like what a great like. I was like, you know what, Umaga was freaking great.
he was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was the second best Kingston, obviously first best
Kofi.
Yeah. $9.99 here from Ryan Martins. With Triple H now in charge of creative, do you think he'll slowly pull away from characters Vince liked, like Nikki Ash on Monday, or do you think wrestlers will have more say creatively and promos?
Triple H now in charge of creative. Do you think he'll slowly pull? No. I think they're gonna. Well, maybe like the dumb ones, yeah. But you also have to remember the purpose of Nikki Ash was not for us; it was for kids. So they still have to be part of that business, and they're still going to be catering to those, to that audience. I think we're going to get less of the stupidness, the stupid humor. I think that's what we're going to see.
More fart jokes?
Yeah. No, they'll be fart. You get fart.
But not like like you're not going to have Natalia, farting up a storm in the back.
I think
what a stupid gimmick that was.
I think they'll take it up a notch. You're gonna have just
More
like
farting?
Natalia straight up taking a dump on somebody.
I hate fart humor too. I hate fart humor. Oh man, it really. I think it's gross.
That's because you've never farted.
I've never farted. No, I just burp through my ears.
No, the dust just comes out your belly button.
This is a question, not more of a question,
Joel
but
Paul.
here's
Joel Paul.
Here's a statement from Joe Paul. I don't think Kenny is this mainstream must-watch draw. AEW literally did everything except tell you Kenny was coming back. People knew and just didn't care.
I'm going to tell you, Joel, if they had told you that he was coming back, they would have had 1 million views.
Question from Joe Paul in the audience.
Joe Paul. I know, but
we love you, Joe.
do you think he hits people with that guitar? He's doing a Jeff Jarrett gimmick in that photo?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's hard too.
I love that line. Broke 10,000 guitars and never drew a dime. What an asshole thing to say about somebody.
Oh
really,
yeah,
right?
so good. Here's a question from Kevin. Would you rather see Punk or Mox win on Wednesday?
Punk.
Yeah.
Storyline purpose.
He's got to make up for that injury time, right?
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again.
This is from Kim Sparkle on Twitch. What happened to Ruby Riott? Since Toni Storm started in AEW, I don't see her anymore. Hashtag Ask Madmen.
Didn't she?
She did the Shark Tank thing on Dynamite.
She did the Shark Tank thing.
I think again that's a good example.
It's a lot of people
of like who's getting lost in the shuffle.
Yo, that women's division though. For AEW, they need to step it up.
Do you think it's too much with the 2 titles now, or what?
Where?
Because like you're on
WWE.
No, because they have the TBS title and they.
Oh yeah. No. I'm okay with that. I think that's like the Jade title.
Okay.
Because they want her to be a monster, and what a great way to create a monster is by holding that title forever. But they got to do something because the WWE's women's division is by far masterfully way ahead.
Yes.
Of what they're doing. Yes. And not a knock at the talent. They need better positioning. They need to, like you had, like this match. Toni Storm had a match with virtually a no-name.
Right.
Why are you presenting that on your TV, on Dynamite? It's not Rampage.
Yeah.
It's not dark.
Again, like, I want to know what the method to that madness is, because at one point, like, you get these burgeoning sparks of life with that women's division, and then sometimes they go away. Like, it works, like, you get great programs, like all the Britt Baker stuff was fantastic for months and months and months. And now, like the Thunder Rosa Toni Storm thing, I want Toni Storm to win already.
I think they
I've turned on Thunder Rosa.
they have to turn her.
Yeah.
The audience has turned on her. Yeah. She's had some unfair moments out of her control. Yeah. But a lot of the, and then you end up dumping on. People love to do that, dude. They build you up to, oh my God, she's the best, right? Everybody's screaming, and then she gets the title, and everybody turns on you.
Do you think that's booking, or do you think that's promo style?
I think a little both.
Yeah?
I think it's a little both. I think it just didn't translate as I hoped.
We got another 10 here from Cadillac Carson, friend of the show. I died when Punk started doing Snow Angels during Moxley's entrance. I hope he got better. Also, do you think they will put the world title on Eddie Kingston?
He died, dude, and came back. Do you think they put the title on Eddie Kingston?
Yes.
You know what? Like, you know how I could see it?
Go ahead.
As a Mick Foley moment. What a great Mick Foley moment. Whoever that he could beat MJF. Let's say he beats MJF. MJF is that chicken shit heel.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Eddie Kingston, who could never become a world champion for any, a national company. It's not in his cards. And he challenges him on Dynamite. Yeah. Becomes a big schmaz, and Eddie gets the pin and wins the title. What a great moment.
He has to do it in New York, though.
But do people give a shit?
Yes.
Not us. Do people give a shit? Will the regular viewer care?
He's over.
Eddie Kingston has.
You know why? Because he has that. He has that semi Mick Foley quality. When you look at Eddie Kingston, you could turn around and be like, you know what, that guy, he seems like a very familiar guy.
Who has better eyebrows, me or Eddie Kingston?
Oh,
Eddie gets his done.
Yeah, he gets them done, man.
But he got a Dominican dude doing it.
What if you got your eyebrows done?
I get them done.
But I want like
the very thinned out.
Yeah, I want them a little thinned out.
I stopped
and
going.
I want like the little line
to the Russians
cut.
to do it.
I want the line cut in there.
The Russians used to do it with my hair.
They used to give you the line in the.
No, I never did the line.
Yeah, I think
It's
you
too
should
much.
do
The line is too much.
Do the line.
It's too much.
Do it.
Too aggressive.
Do it. Do the line and then do the lines up here.
Oh, do the lines up here.
Yeah.
Have it lines everywhere.
Oh,
How
that'd
about
be
I
amazing.
draw like a mural on the back of my head?
That'd
Like
be
Magic
fantastic.
Johnson?
I would love
could
that.
put magic on the back of my head.
I would love that.
You gotta do Rodman.
I'll do Rodman on the back of my head.
Let's go to Flatbush Avenue.
Okay.
We'll film it and we'll get somebody to do like a portrait on the back of your head.
I love your finest tape up, please. Can I do that?
You know what I would have done. Let's see. Did we even answer his question? Yes, I want to see Eddie Kingston with that title.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be like a Kane or Mankind thing, where like he gets the title on a Wednesday and loses it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Right. To Claudia. Shreya Hashemi, $2. Best part of Raw, Ezekiel family photo. That was fantastic.
That was great. Very good job. Hashemi. Oh boy.
This is a good question here from Kyle. Another $5 from Kyle Masters. Is there a legitimate reason why 920 is chosen every week for the women's matches or segments?
Last week it wasn't, but it is the death spot. That 920 segment. It is literally the death spot of that show. I don't know. Maybe that's the time that they set for them to highlight them, to grow the audience. You know, that's an argument that you could use where you're going to put something unique that you're not seeing throughout the show to grow a segment of the audience at a certain time. There's a number of reasons. You know, they get these quarter hours. They see the demos. They see all this. So they kind of, it's not just willy-nilly booking anymore on who goes where.
Right.
It's all strategic. So maybe Tony has a reason for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Tony hates the women. That's what it means, right? That's the narrative.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Ryan Martin's $4.99. Thanks, Ryan. Do you think we'll see any character resets after the draft? I noticed Nikki Ash ditched the cape for a leather jacket on Monday.
All right, I'm into that. So I got to tell you this. I saw a number of reports saying that the draft will be taking place the 9th or the 11th. I believe. Let me see. The 12th. I was told the 9th and the 12th. Okay, for the draft. Okay. I haven't reported it because I know for a fact that USA internally does not have it on the calendar. So they could be being a little bit more careful, right? With leaking stuff, or it's not that day. I don't think it's going to be the 26th. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Your major market viewership is low on the 26th because it's Rosh Hashanah. So New York, LA, Chicago, Philly, right? You're going to have a drop in the viewership, so you won't do it then. I think realistically, the 19th, the 12th, you know, those are the 2 days for Raw to do it if you're going to do it in September. There's also a trip to Saudi Arabia coming up.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So you got to do it before. It's the same situation as last year. Do you remember last year? They moved the date 3 times on the draft.
Yes.
I had 3 dates every time they moved it. I reported. So, you know, I would expect it for the 9th and 12th. Friday getting it first and you know, doing it the opposite way, where before it's always Raw and then SmackDown. Or maybe the 12th and 16th. I got to confirm
Andrew.
it. Yes,
Still
sir.
up in the air.
Yes, MJ.
September 12th is, well, other than being my birthday, it is also the opening night of Monday Night Football, so I doubt they would do it that way.
Okay, so they're not doing it on the... okay, well, maybe that's why. I don't have an internal number. So the 19th? They're not doing it on the 5th. That's Labor Day.
This will be the biggest draft, I think.
Yeah.
Since the original
Well,
one.
I think you need to incorporate... if you are doing the draft the right way, you need to do it with everybody.
Yes.
Say, F this, everybody's up for grabs. Braun Breaker could go to SmackDown as NXT champion.
I hope they do like the watch party at NXT again.
Yeah, they did a watch party. Yeah, that was cool too.
That was cool.
Yeah, there's a lot that they could do here. I'll probably find out the date next week or so.
This guy just left.
Who just left?
He's
Hell,
gone.
just- he just-
Did you know it's his birthday
He's
as
gone.
well?
It's his birthday on the 12th.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that.
He went into the other room and jumped off.
Just did it.
September 11th,
Jumped off a
though,
table. I don't know.
Something interesting. September 11th, they're doing a house show in DC.
September
Oh, jeez.
11th is a house show in DC. Okay.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. This is from BC Knight on Twitch. Who will have a better career in Hunter's WWE? Braun Breaker or Tyler Bates?
Braun Breaker.
Big
Everybody, like
Steiner style.
Well, I'll give you an example. I mean, that's a great question. A lot of people think like, oh, well, now the smaller guys we got to put. Triple H is a big guy lover too.
He is a big guy lover.
I mean, like you got a guy like Braun Breaker. You're not saying like, okay, you know what, this guy. Now we're gonna cool off on him. He's still the focus to be that guy.
So
That has not changed at all. That a lot of the stuff in NXT and who's getting placed where is not necessarily a Vince McMahon thing.
right. Also, if Braun Strowman ever comes back, do you think there's room for two Brauns?
Brawny men. You can do a tag team.
Ooh, that'd be great.
That'd be lumberjacks.
Mm-hmm. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Does Braun Strowman? That's my question. Do you miss Braun Strowman?
No, I don't.
Is he coming with a different gimmick?
You know, they made the Choo Choo Train shit killed it for me. He was done for me. That was it. You know what?
Yeah.
That was a nail in the coffin for me. I can never.
It's like it's 1985 again.
It's like Big Show. Big Show's the same thing too.
He's like Big John Studd.
I was gonna say he's like Big John Studd.
The tag title with the 4-year-old.
The tag title with the 4-year-old. Yeah.
See, I thought that was
production
great.
company. Yeah, I thought that was great for
I
him.
think that was the moment he needed the.
I don't think anybody could hear you. I could only hear you, unfortunately.
I think
you.
that when he won the tag titles with the ref's kid, I thought that was fantastic because we would talk about like, yo, he has a little bit of that big man Hogan charm, right? But I feel like after just not getting to know the guy, but just seeing more stuff about him, I'm like, he doesn't really have that Hogan charm. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
So
brother.
I came home the other day. I flipped the TV. I forgot what channel it is. It's like the new. I still have cable. It's what TV Land used to be.
Okay, what is it now?
I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
It's Palladium
it's like-
or some shit like
yeah.
that, right? A-Team was on.
Okay.
I look at this guy. I love A-Team. Big fan of A-Team.
Yeah.
I look at the description. The episode is called Body Slam, right?
Who's on?
Hulk Hogan calls fellow Vietnam veteran B.A. Baracus because he needs a hand with something.
Was it Hulk Hogan or was
Dude, it's...
Wait, but was it Hogan playing Hogan?
Yes.
And he was a Vietnam vet.
Yes. He could have been too. I looked up like the dates and everything.
No, he's too young.
No.
50. He's born 53, 54.
Right, but Vietnam went till 75, so he could have still been. He wouldn't have been drafted, but he could have enlisted.
He could, yeah. Yeah, it went till 75, so he would have been, 17, 18. Yeah, he would have been.
Yeah.
But it was done at that point, right? Yeah.
So
Interesting.
So he is in.
If I was a couple years older, brother.
He's in the entire episode. And guys, please, A-Team. The episode is called Body Slam. Hogan is, this is the epitome of like Americana 1980s Hogan. Hogan with the A-Team, George Papard, Templeton Peck, like all these, like everybody, right?
You tell that Trump Ho Chi Minh, brother. Is he doing that one of those?
It starts with him wrestling Big John Studd.
Excellent.
The A-Team is in the audience.
Yeah.
Backstage, he's like, brother, I haven't seen you since blah, blah, blah. Remember when I saved your ass in Nam? And then Mr. T's like, I saved your ass, fool. And then they go back and forth the entire episode.
Oh, so good.
Dude,
that's it.
It's amazing. They go
Season
back
4,
and forth.
episode 7.
Yeah.
Season 4, episode
7 of
okay.
A-Team. They go back and forth the entire episode. Brother, I saved your ass in Nam. No, you didn't.
No.
I saved your ass in Nam. Yeah.
But it's Hulk Hogan.
But it's Hogan as Hogan, dude.
So is that canon with Hulk Hogan in WWE that he was a Vietnam vet?
It has to be.
Is that why
right?
he's Americana?
At no
Love it.
point is he Terry Bollea with a 10-inch penis. He is.
He's Hulk Hogan.
He's Hulk Hogan with a 20-inch penis.
Yeah, got it.
All right. BC Knight asks, will fans turn on CM Punk?
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Fans will turn on everybody.
Yeah, they turn on Kenny.
Yeah. Who I don't think fans will turn on for the foreseeable future? Moxley.
Who's a guy that fans have never turned on?
Have they turned on Bryan?
Bryan Danielson?
Yeah.
No,
Have they turned on Austin?
not really.
Yeah. Taker.
Not really.
Taker. Fans have
Oh,
never
no,
turned.
they have. They have turned
You know
on.
what?
though.
You're right. American Badass
American,
stuff.
yeah, they don't like the American Badass.
Towards the end of American Badass, I think fans turned on.
No, they turned on him during the documentary when he was like, he's like support, like he was.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
You could tell where he falls in line.
Sure.
Is he doing his? He's doing his one man show, right? Right now,
The comedy show, right?
no, he's like a preacher.
Oh boy,
He's like preaching. No, I'm serious. He's doing a one man show in England. No, in Wales.
no, shut up.
No, I swear to God.
Like a question and answer?
No,
Or
it's like,
he's like,
I think he's like he's doing like a one man stage thing, the Undertaker show live.
what's it called?
I don't know. Finding Taker. I have no idea what it's called. Somebody in the chat room could find it.
Dead or Alive? R.I.P.
What is it called?
So Friday, September 2nd,
Okay.
Undertaker One Dead Man Show.
Oh my God.
And he's wearing the earpiece and everything.
Oh yeah.
Here you go.
He's healing people. Oh, there it is.
No thanks.
Yeah. He's
No
healing
thanks.
people, dude. He's like doing one of these and he's healing them.
He's starting. Why is he dressed like the singer from Avenged Sevenfold?
It's the night before Clash of the Castle.
Yeah, on the 3rd.
Yeah, bananas. Would you pay tickets to see the Undertaker do like his faith healing?
How much do you think
Speaking in tongues.
Tickets right now? Well, I think it's sold out, but I think
No.
$150.
Oh boy.
105
Okay.
pounds.
Yeah,
$150.
that's like
and
$10.
then 260 VIP meet and greet.
Yeah, so like $400 and $175.
Yeah, that's bananas, dude.
People are going. They don't get to see Taker.
What's the most you've ever paid for wrestling stuff?
The most I have ever paid for wrestling stuff? That's a great question. Probably that Chicago trip.
That doesn't count. I mean, like an interaction or like a.
I've never.
No, you know what? I would say your Las Vegas trip probably.
Yeah, but I was like, work.
Yeah, I mean, you still paid for it.
I still pay for it.
In
Chicago
many,
too.
In many
Chicago
ways.
was expensive.
Yeah.
Vegas was expensive. I did pay for that Shinsuke Nakamura autograph because I was really drunk and I thought I was buying the actual photo and I paid $100 for that stupid thing.
That's right.
And then I saw everybody walking around with like $5 ones.
Yeah.
All I wanted was it framed for the studio.
I got the $5.
I know, and I was so mad. I was so mad I got taken.
I got the one that there was just like the print.
Yeah. Same thing with this one too. I got
Yeah.
taken on this one too because this is all signed, which is really like now looking at it.
That's
it's
pretty
awesome,
dope,
right? You
yeah.
got FTR. You got
Denise one?
Denise signed it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Denise
Oh,
signed
that
it.
was the most expensive piece of wrestling merch. The
the Denise signature.
the
Yeah,
Denise
because I had to go to
photo.
Chicago to get it.
I mean, you have the signature Bret Hart.
I do. I have the signature Bret Hart. I got a lot of good memories.
I know there's a lot of folks that we know that like I know one dude. I always forget his name, but I see him by the train sometimes. Where he'll corner me and be like, "What wrestling shows are you going to? Did you buy this? Did you buy that?" And I'm like, "No, dude. Like, yeah, I'm a little busy." And he'll be like, "You know what I do? I take all my money from my paycheck. I pay my rent. I pay my bills, and everything else I spend on wrestling."
There are a lot of those guys. Did you
Yeah.
see the line for Claudio?
Oh my god!
Down the block. Big
yes.
shout out to
I-
Wrestling Universe. They
I
killed
sent
it
you
with
that
Claudio.
line.
No, but I unbelievable.
yeah.
That thing was wrapped around Francis Lewis Boulevard.
Really cool. And the same thing for Gargano.
The same thing for
Gargano was there
too.
too. Yeah, like it was pretty nuts. Like Wrestling Universe does very well with like the fan base that's coming. You know, because it's very drivable. It's
Very.
drivable.
It's like, think about it. All you need is like 150 people from the neighborhood. All these guys love wrestling.
And-
they all grew up in the same town.
And they'll pay the premium for the photos.
Yeah.
I got the only like I've told the story a million times, but like that being taken by Virgil for $20.
Did it for you. You never want to
Yeah.
get another autograph
Nah,
again.
like I think that may be it. Yeah, that might be like the only like autograph 8x10 I have. I met Mick Foley a bunch of times, but those are all like free signings.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing crazy.
Did Hogan do a 619 on Big John Studd in that episode? 'Cause
Oh,
I wish he did.
You know it.
What else do we have here? Let's do a couple more and then get out of here.
That's pretty much it, man. This is like, all right, here we go. Kyle Masters, any news or rumblings when the All Out Fan Fest tickets go on sale?
Not a clue. I have zero insight on that. I haven't asked.
Here's a good one from the Kingsman on Twitter. With reports, did that come up?
Yeah.
With reports that USA wants a world title, will they make the main event between Reigns and McIntyre for one title soon, possibly even tonight?
USA, like this is, but they've always felt like this. They felt like this since the title was combined. They feel that they don't get the attention that Fox gets.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is really unfair because Fox is, they have a 2-hour show versus a 3-hour show. SmackDown is written better. It's in front of more eyeballs, so a little bit more attention goes to it. But you guys got Peacock. You guys got the whole network. And I think that's how WWE sees it. It's like, listen, man, you get a lot too, but they do even Steven booking for both shows.
They do.
So,
they got to get out of that even Steven.
Listen, what happens when Cody wins the title?
Yeah.
Right? Cody wins the title, and now you have him with the title. SmackDown, maybe, you gotta balance it. But I know for a fact they really want to be at 2 million. They really want bigger stars and bigger things to happen. That TV 14 story, when that thing was spreading internally, they saw that as, oh my God, thank God. Right? Now it's on hold because of everything that's going on with Vince.
Bananas.
That is all banana stuff. Yeah. Do you know what the main reason was that I was told? Why? Internally from WWE that they want to go? Because they're tired of having to edit out the fans.
That makes sense.
And the chants. It's really becoming like a problem for them.
A lot of F-bombs on Dynamite, right?
Tons of curses on Dynamite.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my God. It's like the 3 seconds in, they're screaming bullshit.
I am such a child that when I hear curse words on TV, my ears automatically perk up. Yeah, where I'm like, oh, he said shit. That guy said shit.
You know what?
That's crazy.
I have to tell you, that is a generational thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the younger generation is the ears perk up to it because that's all they freaking hear.
That is true.
Think about it. We've cursed multiple times on the show. It's part of language. It's part of, you go on YouTube. I don't like how they censor certain words.
Yeah.
Like they'll censor a word that's not a curse.
Yeah. Because
they don't want to get demonetized, but it's messing up language. You're conditioning language. Like, you can't say that.
Yeah, no. There's a no list.
I did that on purpose, by the way.
Yeah,
all right, because somebody's gonna be some doof is gonna be like, oh, it's so funny and just crapping on people cursing and censorship, but yet he censored himself.
All he said was, "There's always money in the banana stand."
There's always money in the banana stand.
But yeah, no, it's true. Like, and it's also we curse like not semi regularly on the show, but it doesn't. We don't turn the air blue.
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference.
That is the big difference. Guys, that's it. Oh, do we have another
one more? Sorry, I hit the button as you started. Do we think Tony will be forced to eventually make Rampage 2 hours long and book it better?
Oh, I you know what? No, don't go 2 hours. Don't go 2 hours. Don't make the mistake.
Okay.
Don't fall into Thunder territory.
Thunder territory.
Don't do it. Do an hour. Do an hour any day other than 10 p.m.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How much did you love Thunder in Paradise?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Stupid show.
Yeah, Hogan on a boat.
Hogan on a boat. brother.
People forget that Hogan was on a boat once.
I love that man had that show. And they tried to make him successful in media.
Yeah.
In like TV and stuff. Three Ninjas, right? Wasn't he in Three Ninjas? Or like the Return, the babysitting movie?
Yeah. Suburban
Commando. Was that the big one? What was Hogan's big movie?
No Holds Barred.
No, forget about that one. That one doesn't count.
Mr. Nanny?
Was it Mr. Nanny?
Yeah. I want to say Suburban Commando was his big one. Mr. Nanny was also another one.
What's better, Mr. Nanny or The Chaperone?
Mr. Nanny. Mr. Nanny. Big time, yeah.
There's 80s movies there. Mr. Nanny's... Mr.
No, The
90s.
Chaperone is Triple H.
Yeah. Mr. Nanny was from 1993.
Yeah.
I think Suburban Commando, where Hogan is the alien, and Undertaker's also in it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's 91?
That's 91. Christopher Lloyd, Shelley Duvall's in it.
That's like a big movie, yeah.
It's nuts. Guys, go watch movies with Hulk Hogan.
How about Universal Soldier with Bill Goldberg and Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Goldberg was in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Terrible movie. Any other questions before we wrap it up?
Looks like that's it, dude.
All right. That's it for this week, guys. I'll be back Sunday. Wrestling Observer Live. I'll be back Tuesday. We're live, pal. Back with Rich on Friday next week. I believe RJ City next week. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
That's it.
Scissor me, bro. I'll see you guys later.
Later.